What thing you must experience at least once in life? Two things come to mind, both are intentionally vague. Completing something that at the onset you were not sure you were able to do, such as running a marathon or graduating college. Realizing one day, after much practice, that you have become good at that thing you once sucked at. Rocket League comes to mind for number 2. This is legit me with running, and all because my dumbass signed up for the NYC Marathon Lottery on a dare. Most I had run was a slow 5K, and I signed up thinking I'd never get it. 9 months later I shocked myself finishing the marathon, and 2 years later I'm signed up for an ultra. I highly encourage everyone to take this kind of risk. If I hadn't chanced $10, I never would have found my favorite hobby in life. Seeing the night sky without light pollution. It's almost a religious experience to see the stars and the stripe of the Milky Way from on top of a mountain. I'm from an overpopulated, urban part of southern UK. We live in rural France now in a tiny hamlet with just 6 houses and one street light that goes off at 11 PM. We're surrounded by acres and acres of fields. The night sky is just astonishing. I saw my first shooting star a couple of years ago, and I'm past middle-aged. We sleep with the windows open and all we can hear is wildlife and the farmers' cows. It's paradise. I went to Tanzania a few years ago and oh my goodness. I didn't realize the night sky actually looked like those galaxy posters. I was in awe and I've been dying to get that experience again. Starting a rather big and meaningful project and completing it. I wish I could complete small and insignificant projects. I went through hell and high water for my town to build a disc golf course. Like I didn't think I would win, but I was persistent and eventually very successful. From that moment on something just clicked for me. I got my life together and everything. Kinda wild what a project can do to someone. Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. But Seymour won't let me in his kitchen. Edit, wow, never thought a stupid comment would blow up like this. Hand to the heart, the day I know I'm not long for this world and I get granted a final wish, this will be my choice. Which doesn't mean I will wait before I'm about to die to see them, it's just to make an example at how much I want to see such a phenomenon. I have only thing left to do in life. Bring me to see the Northern Lights. I am not a vain person at all, but once I was in a situation where I walked into a room and everyone looked at me in admiration. I very much doubt it will ever happen again, but boy it was a rush. Edit, thank you for the awards. It was at a hotel aimed at over 25s and the week I stayed I think I was the only woman under 50. I got dressed up for the meal, walked into the cocktail hour. That was nearly 20 years ago, so no, I will never be the youngest or prettiest in the room ever again, but it was nice when it happened. This happened 5 years ago when a buddy of mine and I walked into a bar on Halloween dressed as Commander Cody and Captain Rex. I peaked that day. Wedding day? Super corny alert. Helping a stranger who needs help. No video, no pictures, no expectation of reward. Just knowing that you did something for someone who's on the outside, you brought them in for a minute. Obviously if you experience this at least once then it won't be your last time, so maybe it doesn't qualify, but whatever. I did that once. I was at a tire store getting a nail hole patched and there was a woman waiting there at the same time. The store employee came out and told her car was in bad need of an alignment and gave her the quote, but she said she couldn't afford it and not to do it. As the guy was writing me up I asked him how much the alignment for that woman would cost and he told me. I told him to put it on my bill and not to tell her it was done until she was leaving with her car. I was long gone so I never got to see her find out it was done, but it felt good helping someone out. Today you, tomorrow me. Snow. I'm from a tropical country, so it has been a dream since childhood to experience making a snowman or be in a snowball fight. Edit, whoa, thanks for the awards kind strangers. I'm from a snowy climate and for all our griping about shoveling and being cold, there really is something magical about going outside when it's peacefully snowing. The world sounds muted and it's like being alone but in a good way. Everything is coated in white and sparkles. And a good snowball fight is always great. And then coming back inside and getting changed into warm fluffy clothes and drinking hot cocoa is amazing. As someone who is from Texas, I don't really want the snow here anymore. A total solar eclipse. To see a black hole in the sky where the sun used to be, with stars all around it in the middle of the day, is an unbelievable experience. Edit, my first Reddit gold. Thank you, kind stranger. And everything gets quiet and the bugs decide it must be night time. We had one a year ago. It was awesome. I saw one a few years ago and was very surprised how much of an effect it had on me. I wasn't that excited for it, but when it happened it was totally surreal and magical. The light, the temperature, the way time seems to stop. Definitely recommended. I was held hostage by car bomb for about 14 hours once by a man who went AWOL from the special forces. I sat within feet of him the entire time the bomb was dismantled and then had to treat him as a medical provider. At first, it was just terror. I had small children at home, a wife to go home to. But after the initial adrenaline wore off, it was very freeing. I could die at any moment and there was nothing I could do about it. And, while that's an almost certainty for all of us, it's usually not something so surreal and in the forefront of our minds. I wasn't worried about my student loans or the rent or my credit card payment or the car loan. None of it. I took a nap for a bit. Everyone should get to feel like that. Maybe we would all slow down and just give each other a break. Yup. Nothing like a prolonged near-death experience that you have no control over to make you realize you really can't control anything, so you might as well enjoy life. I lived on the top floor of an apartment building that caught fire. I got myself and my cat out, the only living things in my unit, and watched the building continue to burn from across the street in a friend's apartment. Like you said, as the initial adrenaline wore off, I came to the realization that all of my possessions were going to be toast. And just like you said, it was a freeing feeling. All the stuff that we are subconsciously so concerned about, so attached to, none of it really mattered. I could get new clothes and furniture eventually. The only thing I couldn't replace was my artwork, and so what? My life would go on just the same and I'd make more. Then as the day went on, they got the fire out and the fire chief cleared the building structurally so that some tenants could go back into their units and salvage anything undamaged. My unit was unburned. Some stuff was smoke damaged, but for the most part, everything was okay. I had all my stuff back. And it was kind of disappointing in a weird way. I felt the onus of all my possessions drop back onto my mind. My landlords had already set me up with a new unit a few blocks away and I could move in immediately. So now I had the task of schlepping all my crap around. It was a weird day. See the ocean and mountains. True. I was 19 when I first saw mountains, as I come from a flat country. It was wonderful. I stayed to live in a mountainous area. 10 years later I saw a real ocean, not sea, mind you, with real tides. Completely worth it. Having a day when you don't do really anything that you don't want, don't talk to anyone and just enjoy what you like, reading, gaming, sport etc. After 6 months of unemployment during quarantine, these days get old really fast. For me they did, at least. Indeed. Mental health breaks are so important. The best physical shape you can possibly be in. I've always hated exercise, but, about 7 years ago, I wanted to impress a guy I was seeing, and started training for a 5K. I was running 9 miles a week and was in the best shape of my life. I looked so good in a bikini. But it didn't last long, the relationship or the running. I hate running. I've been getting in shape since COVID lockdowns started, and on February 1st I had to help a buddy move, and it was just so easy. When I helped people move in the past I would need a recovery day afterwards, but I was barely getting started. Solo travel edit. I am a woman. Please do not discourage yourself from solo travel as a woman. Just research a bit before you go. It's very common for women to solo travel. I get this. I myself like traveling alone as much as with friends. Like what it is, but traveling alone just feels good. I guess it's when you're just walking along the sidewalk and thinking deep for me. 100% this. Frightening but oh so liberating. Do what you want, when you want, go and just be yourself. I've met lifelong friends and had amazing experiences by going solo and taking a chance. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.